Well, one of the questions that a lot of people have asked is, what does Andy Murray like to do? What's his bread and butter game? And it really hasn't crystallized in full view, but I think we may be seeing it here in the last couple of matches. At least what I would like to see him do. Be aggressive. Take the play to people. Try and blow people off the court with all the power that he possesses.
Deuce.
And he has the ability to do a lot of different things, but he doesn't do one thing day in and day out that you know is coming at you. It's almost a blessing and a curse.
It's Miles McClagan, his coach. Serving that one well.
Advantage Murray.
Not going for the outright ace, but using the court, the angle, dragging Rafa out, and then just every now and again he throws in that serve volley off that one, catches him unawares.
Deuce. Advantage Murray.
Don't see that very often.
A deceleration, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but that's what the serve and volley does to you. The returner starts to second guess what they should be hitting. Should they just be putting it back into court, or do they need to make it better? Just, it puts doubt. You can see it there.
Mr. Murray challenging the call. Left far sideline. Ball was called out.
He felt pretty good about that one off the racket. And that is the game for Murray. So 1-1. Let's check in with Roger Rashid courtside.
Well, that was a big hole. One thing I'll say about Rafa is it's a credit to him. He's gone and locked into this style of tennis. He hasn't said, okay, I've lost the first set, I'll do a little bit of my old traditional stuff. He locks in and believes this tennis can get him the result and advance to the semi-finals. He's berating himself a lot. And Andy Murray, when he's won a couple of times, he's given the big come-ons to the Nadal box, which is very interesting. So he's playing the mind games. It's good stuff.
Love.
Good strong point from both players, but it was this last shot, and that's what Murray, he likes to play a lot of that sort of tennis in my view, and that's sometimes what gets him into trouble, because he's got wonderful feel and he likes to create, and it can sometimes backfire on him.
30 love.
2 points, which is the perfect style that Rafa would like to play this match in right there.
Love. Game Nadal.
So Rafa holds, we're on serve. The second set.
Nadal leads 2-1.
Scott, Andy Murray off to a great start here in the quarterfinal against number 2 seed, the defending champion, Rafael Nadal. Take the opening set by 6-3. And Jim, I just feel that that last game was a little bit of a changing in the style of play. I felt Rafa just started to get the points more in his favour and how he likes to play them.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Players are ready. Thank
And
you.
I didn't see much different from Rafa. It was more of a sort of a drop-off from Murray.
Thank you.
Well, Murray won that point, but it's on Rafa's terms. There were 3
15 love.
mediocre loopy forehands from Murray, and Rafa plays a drop shot. Murray's speed wins him the point here, not his shot selection. This is a good sign for Rafa, even though he's down 15 love.
Left first serve.
Trend line moving in Nadal's favor now.
Love.
Bad miss there. You could see Rafa saying his body was out of position there. Didn't have it all moving. Not much venom on that two-hander that time.
40 love.
4th ace, great angle. Precision placement.
Game Murray.
Anyone from Washington rules?
For security?
All the great shows coming your way straight after the tennis, and we're getting deep into the tennis. This is quarterfinals action tonight.
Love.
Well, we've already seen the first of the semifinalists in the men's draw. Marin Cilic coming through over Andy Roddick. 6-3 in the 5th set. Roddick fighting back from 2 sets to love down valiantly. And Cilic, the first Croatian man
Love.
to reach the semifinals of this tournament.
30-15.
I get this distinct impression that Rafa's starting to target the forehand. It's not that it's a bad shot, but you mentioned there's a couple that get it, they get a little wispy, and he brushes up the back, drops the ball short.
Thank you.
From there, then Rafa can start to dictate the point.
Well, Rafa, a good hold. We're on serve in set 2. Plenty to come.
Happy Australia Day, everyone. There's people celebrating Australia Day all along the Yarra, across Melbourne City, right across the country, in fact. It was a spectacular day here today, and it is a beautiful, mild evening. There's been barbecues, flybys earlier today, wonderful sense of celebration with plenty of patriotism on display. And now we have some spectacular fireworks which have interrupted play here on Rod Laver Arena. The match between Andy Murray and Rafael Nadal. Murray, of course, taking the first set 6-3 over the defending champion. We're on serve in the second set. It's absolutely beautiful as we rejoin Todd Woodbridge and Jim Courier.
Well, it is, Joe, and the players are enjoying the beauty as well. They were given the choice by chair umpire Fergus Murphy as to whether to play through this or to sit it out, and they have chosen to just relax, let the celebration begin and end, and then they will resume their battle. The fireworks we're seeing on this court tonight.
Well, just think about the coordination that went in here, because as Rafa played that beautiful cross-court backhand volley, the switch went, and so the city of Melbourne with the tennis, with the fireworks, working in conjunction beautifully.
So tomorrow night, this is what it will look like. Another ripper. Number 3 seed Novak Djokovic taking on Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, the finalist here a few years back. And, oh yes, the Frenchman, Henri Leconte, will bring his flair to the commentary as well.
It's his own style.
So the tournament here in week 2 is in full celebration as well as the entire country. And we are going to step away for the moment, and when we come back, it'll be the resumption. Murray and Nadal. It's a set to Murray, and they're on serve in the middle of the second set. Happy Australia Day.
Well, as we continue to enjoy the fireworks here, it's a great reminder for me to tell you to, if you forget, don't forget, I should say, rather, if you're out and about, you can always get Seven's coverage of the Australian Open on your Optus 3G mobile. All you need to do is simply SMS tennis or iTennis to iPhones to 966. We're heading towards the finale of these Australia Day fireworks celebrations. They've been spectacular so far. Very much looking forward to seeing the fireworks back on court, though. It has been the highest quality of tennis that we've seen being played so far. I think it'll be very interesting to see how this break has affected both the players, Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray. Let's rejoin Todd Woodbridge and Jim Courier.
Well, Joe, that's a good point. I'd say ideally, as a player, you'd want to be receiving serve on the end of one of these breaks, because this is kind of most closely associated for a player to a mini rain delay, where you just sit down at your chair and you wait for the court, the misting. And Todd, I think it's fair to say most players would rather be receiving serve so they don't come out cold and risk getting broken right away. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, most definitely, because you come out and play 2 loose points, you're down love 30, there's a bit of pressure, the guy has a swing, and all of a sudden you've lost your serve. And they've been there for a while now. You can tell at home it's a number of minutes, and the guys have just been sitting in their chairs. They'll have cooled right down. It's a cool evening outside.
And that looks like the big finish, and right on time. Both players come out of the tunnel, come jogging onto the court, and trying to create that energy, recreate the energy that they've brought to this court tonight. They have really brought it like it's a final, and it must feel like it, even though we're only in the quarters.
Seats, please. Ready for play.
Now it's going to be Murray serving at 2-3. See if he can recapture the aggression that he showed us in the first set, particularly on the forehand side. Here's Uncle Tony.
Love 15.
Off his coach and confidant.
Nadal challenge call, left service line. Ball was called in.
Well long. Bad call.
Second serve.
Would have been the 5th ace for Murray.
It was a long way from an ace, that one.
Love 30.
And this is what you're talking about. This is a serve and volley, not quite in as fast as he had been. Rafa just gets a bit more at the ball, passes him. Pressure builds. Another error.
Love 40.
Well, Andy Murray won't think much of Australia Day if he loses this serve. Rafa's 1 of 9 in break points.
15-40.
Not a great statistic, not one that you would expect from him, because you know that if he has a chance, he's making you play a lot of balls.
So there's the break. Nadal 4-2.
Nadal
He
leads.
tries to push the momentum. This was set point here in the first set. The reaction from the Murray camp.
And his mother, Judy, in the blue tracksuit top, she gets pretty emotional in the stands, but I must say, when you see her around the grounds underneath, she's pretty calm. She stays away. She lets Andy do his own thing. Obviously, she's been a prominent figure within his tennis career, but she's playing it pretty smart.
Speaking of smart, look at Nadal upping the ante on his side. A serve and volley. It's the first one for him. That's what Murray should have done with that let. Get some tension out of his body. He needs to refocus, re-energize, and re-engage with his aggressive self.
15 all.
Just think about Judy Murray. I mean, let's not forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain quiet between first and second serve.
She's got another son that plays out on the tour. Jamie predominantly plays well in doubles, but is a Wimbledon champion, won the Wimbledon mixed doubles with Jelena Jankovic a couple of years ago. So he's the only one in the family with a Grand Slam title.
15-30.
And this is what Andy did in the first set. Got the break. Sorry, he was down a break, but immediately got it back and played with some real aggression following that. Rafa led him back into it.
And I've picked up a pattern on Nadal in the backhand corner, which
15-14.
if I were playing him, I would take advantage of. When you go to him there 2 times in a row, the first time he hits a two-hander, the second time he goes to a slice. So if Murray is aware of that, he can hit the first one, wait. When the second one comes back slice, be at the net, hitting the easy volley to the open court. So we're back on serve. A trade of breaks, and it's Murray, 3-4.
Here's a bit of trivia for you. Besides Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, who's the last man to have successfully defended a Grand Slam title? Well, my immediate reaction was to think of Pat Rafter winning back-to-back US Opens. Your thoughts on that, Jim?
I'm going Gustavo Kuerten at the French, maybe even Agassi here.
Let's first serve.
Rafter was 97, 98.
Yeah, I think Guga was after that. 2000, 2001. So, yeah.
15 love.
Huge serve. 214.
Well, good start from Murray here with some serve and volley action on the second point. He hasn't done a lot of that except break point down. Good to change it up every now and then. How many serve and volleys has Murray had, Todd?
40 love.
Served and volleyed 10 times, won 8 of them. So when he picks it,
Pretty good.
yeah. And that's the thing. I think with Rafa, you can't overdo it. You've got to time it perfectly.
Game, Murray.
Well, that's a pretty sound hold, 4-all. Let's refresh our memory here with the last successful defense of a slam title besides the current world #1 and 2. Survey says.
You're right, Jim. Good job. Well, you had a bit of an in that because apparently you gave Guga the trophy. You presented him with the esteemed cup.
I did, in 2001.
Nice tradition that they do there at Roland Garros, where they bring back fairly recent champions to present to the winner.
And a challenge coming here.
Well, the umpire called fault. He overruled, so
Oh, well, Murray was set to challenge.
it's Rafa that has to challenge, in fact.
15 love.
You were talking about the pattern to the backhand, Jim, and what we talked about in the break was that Andy's doing a great job of not letting Rafa play this point where he's able to use the forehand. He's keeping him pinned in the backhand corner. You can see what happens there when Nadal has that opportunity to start whipping aggressively with the forehand.
Corrected. Replay the point. Official interference. Line of bar called out and then corrected. 15 love. Thank you.
It's a good piece of umpiring there. Keep the crowd out of it.
And a good call. So confirming Fergus Murphy's decision.
$30. $40 love.
Former world #1, Thomas Muster, in the corner of the Nadal players box. He's been here playing in the Legends event. In actual fact,
40-15.
he warmed up Andy Murray this evening. So he's gone from one end, warming up one guy, to sitting in the other guy's player's box. So he's having a bet each way tonight. Thomas spends quite a bit of time throughout the year living up in Noosa, has a property up there, has done for about 15 years now.
And Thomas, one of the few left-handers floating around the grounds here. If
That's
you wanted
right.
to have a look at a lefty as a warm-up. A couple of the guys left in the doubles. Bob Bryant being one of them, but he's up playing doubles next, so he would have been doing his own thing with his brother Mike, part of the top-ranked doubles team in the world.
Nadal.
Well, Murray will serve to stay in the second set when we come back.
Nadal leads.